was in my truck going to check on some customers' properties, and all of a sudden all the roads were being blocked off right in front of me, and from the cops, and I would go to the next street and that would be blocked off, and the next one, and they just blocked everything off, forced everybody down on Front Street, in which then the flames were coming over our vehicles, not on our vehicles, but the flames are coming over top of our vehicles.
And what street are you on at this point in time?
Front Street.
You're on Front Street
Yes.
itself?
Yep.
So you got directed onto Front Street?
Yep.
Where did you start when you started this journey?
I was going down the highway, and they blocked it off and wouldn't let me go any further.
So you were coming from Laniapoco?
No, I was coming from Waiakuli.
Why? Okay, so you're heading
Going down the
you're
highway.
heading south.
And then they stopped us from going up on the bypass. Then they wouldn't let me go past the bypass to the other exits to go up there.
So you couldn't go up the bypass?
No. And then all of a sudden they said, everybody's get off this highway, go down this way, down into town. Then they started blocking everything off there, and then you were down on Front Street, and I got all the way down to Safeway. And
so you got corralled onto
Yes.
Front Street. You
Yes.
started on the Honopilani Highway.
Yes.
And you ended up on Front Street.
Yes. Couldn't go anywhere. They just said, go north, go north, go north. And then when we got on Front Street, the embers were coming over the buildings and landing on our vehicles. And we're all in a line trying to get to the end of Front Street to go north, like they told us to, not knowing that the police blocked off the end of Front Street so nobody could move. And then everybody panicked, and they all started everybody went up on the sidewalks and through yards, took out the other lane. And then all of a sudden nobody could move anywhere. So all I did was try to inch my way over to another yard and drive up through a sidewalk, come back around, and then the cops were moving around one exit, so I ended up getting up on the highway, even though they trying to direct me another way, and then I hightailed it to home.
So you basically had to climb up on sidewalks and go against what the cops were telling you could do. You had to break traffic laws, essentially.
Basically, yeah.
Right. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying the only way to do it was to cross that line, essentially.
Yeah, because nobody could move and nobody knew where to go, and I said, I'm getting out of here no matter what.
Right.
I went. And then they started following me, and then I got to my house, and
your house is where?
Waiakuli. It was right by the chart house, just across the highway.
Okay, okay.
And then I thought I was safe there. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. There was a fire downtown. Okay, I understood, but I didn't think it was going to affect everybody.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, our neighbor came over and said, you need to get out of here now. And we're like, what's going on? Because we didn't hear no sirens, no nothing. And then we found out that they didn't want to sound the sirens because that would direct everybody up onto the high grounds, which would have solved a lot of problems.
Like a tsunami warning would.
Yeah, they didn't want to confuse people with a tsunami warning.
How did you find that out?
Several people said that. Actually, they're saying it on the radio now.
So somebody made a call to not sound the siren because it would...
That's what we heard.
Interesting. But you did not get evacuated.
I even stopped at the roadblock to go to the other side to pick up supplies for people.
Yeah, tell us what happened that night.
So it was at Ma'alaya is where the barricade was, and
you were told you could leave and come back and get stuff.
And I said, look, I'm going across right there to the gas station to get gas and ice and come right back. Can I leave and come back? And
you're asking this to the police officer at the blockade in Ma'alaya on the poly, right there after the poly. Okay.
Yep. So I went there, got my gas, got right back in line to come back, and they blocked us off and said nobody can go to the west side.
So the same officer that just said you could come back allowed you to go get your supplies, but you just went to the gas station right there in Ma'alaya.
He got orders. I'm not saying it was his
fault.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
he got orders